Hey, it's Saya.
I'm Carol.
It's Tiffany.
It's Nicole, and this is what keeps us together.
Basically, the group chat in your head.
Living rent free.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, on it.
Right.
Okay, well, today's episode is brought to you by, but should be, La Marca, the old faithful Prosecco that we drink on more occasions than not.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
As a matter of fact,
Cheers
hold
to
up.
the freaking weekend. Watch it all fall out. Oh, so many songs. Come on.
Lord.
Speaking of songs, this week, our topic is we're going to be talking about whether or not 30 and 40 are the new 20. So we wanted to...
Which they are, in case you were wondering.
In case you were.
Depends on who you ask.
Us. They're asking us.
They are.
We're asking us.
For this week's Song of the Week, we've got two different songs we're going to be looking for. First, we need to know, recently, Smokey Robinson, he announced that he will be dropping a new album in April called Gasms.
Stop! Just do something else!
It's Saya's face.
else?
It was Saya's face for me.
Nonetheless, it got us to thinking about maybe Smokey is feeling like he's still in his early 40s instead of his 80s. And what?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him.
Definitely like,
Ew.
If you know, you know.
Ew, I don't. And don't want to.
Don't want to. But so we were looking at the track list. The album hasn't dropped yet. Looking at the track list. And just wanted to know, since the track list is trending, what do y'all think is the one song on that album you're not feeling like
None
you
of it.
want to hear any? I mean,
none of it.
all of it for sure. But there's got to be one on there that
Can I fit in there? I don't. If that's a play on words, if it is direct, if it is straight up to what it means, I do not want to find out. I don't want to know. I don't care. I don't intend to find out.
Also, to piggyback on that, I don't want to know, you fill me up. With what, Smokey?
None of it.
I don't want to be a part of that either.
Colie, you? I say I don't want to know. Track number 3. I want to know your body. No, sir. I don't want to hear anything about when you found out, how you know. Just leave it outside of the studio.
My stomach hurts.
Mine too. I just don't like. Why? Who told you?
Smokey
Who produced this? They should be fired.
Smokey is saying just because I'm 80 don't mean I'm out the game. But
What room were you in?
It does.
And they were like, you know what? We should call this album
Gasms.
Guys,
I want to know who.
Like, of all the people that I thought would come out with an album titled Gasms, Smokey Robinson
was not on my bingo card
at all. Like, not even close.
This is
not even a runner-up.
Right. Is this a Drake album or Smokey Robinson's? Like, what is happening?
I feel perturbed.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with Tiff on this one. I don't want to know what you feeling or how you feeling it. No, no. Well, no, that was Carol's song,
Yeah,
right?
Fill Me Up.
Fill me up. No, stop.
I just can't even get. Can I fit in there? Like, wow.
And okay.
Do it.
Okay.
You
I'm
gonna
just
make me
wondering,
throw
it's
up.
just like we've never.
hop back.
Oh.
I don't know if you want to, but just like cock back. We just have we've never heard about his member. Like his dick pic hasn't dropped.
Someone was like, "Oh, you thought Smokey was called? Like, where did you think that name came from?" And I was like, "I've never thought about it, and I never wanted to.
Ever.
So thank you for putting that thought into
Someone's
my mind."
auntie is like,
You mean somebody's great grandmama is like,
Tell your sexy ass daddy.
yeah. All right. Can we move on? Because I'm like,
Yeah, no.
All right, so that's our first song of the week. We'll
please
dial
let
it
it be
back
the
a little bit.
last. Please let it be the last.
And let's talk about what's our favorite old school song. We've mentioned a couple of different ones
We
on
have.
here, but what we can either name one you've done before. You want to add a new one to the mix? What's a good old school? Can we start with Nicole? I feel like
you know, she locked in and ready.
she ready.
The resident auntie is here and ready with my good cleanup song.
Up Woman.
Know. Before Beyonce, it was Marvin Gaye. And that is a hitter for me.
Mm-hmm,
You know?
mm-hmm.
Ba-ba-ba-da. It's the instrumental for me. I don't even have to sing the daggone song. I mean, y'all already know what it is.
Wait, is that Marvin Gaye's?
Isn't it, Marvin?
Yeah.
Oh God, nervous. Sing it, Aylin. Sing it more.
No, it's not Marvin. It's
Lord.
Frankie Beverly.
Yeah, you
Thank-
did this
Sorry,
before.
I did do this before.
Resident Auntie
What?
Loud and Wrong constantly. That tracks though.
It
That is
does,
Resident Auntie.
because one, it's me. Two, I have admitted on time and time, I don't be knowing people's name. I just know the song.
I know, but you were like good old faithful Marvin Gaye.
You right, so I was
Faithfully.
wrong. And I'm gonna own that. It's okay. You know, Auntie forgets from time to time. But I know my song though.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead next.
My favorite is it's more by an old school person than the song is old school. It's like a little bit newer, like of their song.
Mm.
But I think I've done this before, so apologies in advance
Okay.
if you remember. But I'm just gonna stick with it. You're contagious, touch me, baby, give me what you got.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my go-to. It is salacious and wonderful.
You gonna
And
sing the R. Kelly part now?
I'm not.
I don't remember if he was on that one or not. There's a lot
What
of
the hell is
He's the
going
other
on
man.
between the sheets in my home?
baby. Wait,
That's
let
not him,
me
though.
explain before you start to point your cane.
Girl, I'm about to have a fit.
Nope, not doing that part though.
Come on, man, sing it.
We're supposed to take that part out.
Nope.
Damn.
Mm.
All right. Well, if you know me in real life, you know Charlie Wilson is my boo boo. So I'm gonna go with "There Goes My Baby." That's my jam.
Good one.
Honestly, any song by Charlie Wilson. Also, like, "Can I Get to the Yams?" His
That's
version,
not his
though.
song.
His version.
I like the Masego version. That was hot for like a year before no one knew it until Charlie did his
Nah, I'm going with the
his
Uncle,
cover.
Uncle Charlie version with the yam right in, like as the mic. Can
Terrible.
I get to the yam?
Feel bad for Masego. But that version is funny.
You know what? That gesture right there is giving me borderline Smokey Robinson vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
a
Don't
little
you
cringe.
ever say that again.
It's accurate. You need to hear it.
you do.
You need
like,
to really come to terms with it.
The
you
disrespect.
trying to get at the yams?
Oh,
Sweet.
are you calling him Smokey or me?
No, I'm saying like
Huh?
he's borderline tiptoeing the Smokey.
You bite your tongue. You talk about Charlie.
Carol, the fact that you and your mama both get excited about going to this man's concert, it should be an indication.
Of what? That it's a great. It supersedes all generations, and he's just an amazing artist.
No.
Okay, cool. Hi, what's your
mama
song?
at the concert is like, tell your sexy ass.
Now I am extremely uncomfortable, and I'm gonna tell her at church tomorrow. You said that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Mom, I'm just kidding. It's just
Roll
a
the
joke.
tape back.
It's just a joke.
I'm gonna
That
cut it and send it to
beautiful
her.
beat,
Joke.
but you gonna get that.
And I'm telling my dad too.
Nah, I'm gonna tell my dad.
All right. So
You're
I
getting
think,
kicked out the church.
No, you're not.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm hide in Mexico.
I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something, but no, it's giving too much Smokey Robinson in here. We just.
If
what's
it's
the
about my
next one?
parents, I feel like we should move on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Please.
All right.
Scared.
So I've done my Isley Brothers already, so I chose a different one this time.
Okay.
Decided to go with Lenny Williams because I love you, girl. You know I love you.
Wow, that is a staple.
Yeah, I love it.
Every single
Yes.
time it comes on at a wedding during like the dinner part,
I love you.
my favorite.
I love.
It's a great song.
Yeah,
I've
it is
been
a great
singing it
song.
since I was a kid, so I was like, I forgot about that one. That's
Oh, wow.
That was a great song.
It
that's a
is.
good song.
It's one of those I don't remember who sings it, but as soon as it comes
Same. That's
Yeah.
why I was like, what? Huh?
on, yeah,
But I'm wrong.
yeah. But
I
I'm
mean,
not
but
gonna.
you were.
You vary.
So I looked up the person that sings the
Yeah,
song.
and the song that you're referring to is like
Whatever.
a very popular song.
Whatever. I'm just saying. I don't be
From Beyonce,
from one
and
linen
from
suit to the
Hank.
next.
They're all the same. Not every black person looks the same.
Smell like Ben Gay linen suits.
Wow.
Mm.
Problematic.
Wow.
Karen. All right.
I'm actually a Keisha, not Karen.
All right. Are we
Yeah, I think
done?
that's it.
Okay.
right?
So
Yeah.
this week we're talking about, as Saya mentioned, 30/40 because, we transcend age ranges here, is the new 20. And I thought about this because I was
Not Nicole just understanding what you mean.
No, I did. I just took a it was a whole moment. Because anyway, go ahead.
Oh God.
okay. So I thought about this topic because I think I was listening to The Read, and Kid Fury was talking about how he's in his late 30s.
Oh, that's another podcast, by the way.
Another great podcast. And he was saying, and he said he was 36, like same age as me. And I was like, late 30?
Dang. Did you just age yourself a couple of months? You don't turn 36 till April, but okay, I'm gonna let you live.
Okay, honestly, I lost a year in the pandemic, so I don't know how old I am. I just know I'm close between 35 and 36. Okay, so I turned 36 in a couple months, but still, the fact that we're about to be in our late 30s just like did not sit well with my spirit. Being that close to 40 just doesn't feel real to me. I don't know if it doesn't feel doesn't feel real to me. I forgot science already.
40 is real.
I think it just
it's
felt
real to me.
I know it just feels like a long time ago. That age just felt so different than it just hits different now.
I agree.
Okay, so our cultural reference comes from the King of Weird on Instagram, and it says, "When I realized 2018 was 5 years ago," and it's this. And she's just looking to.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
She's just shocked and perturbed.
She's looking around anxiously.
And that's how I felt when I realized. I was like, wow, I'm almost 40.
On the way here, literally in the car, they said, yo, we got to realize that 1990 was 30 years ago.
No. See, y'all thought I was crazy when I said this.
30 years old.
And the season finale of season 2. And I was like, there is no way that the 90s were that long ago.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like, it just doesn't feel like, like the math doesn't math.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. So to get us started, like, how did you view the age you are now when you were a teenager?
Old?
Like, y'all are old. Like
halfway through life?
Like that.
For real.
Ain't you too old to be acting like that?
Yeah.
You know what really gives me the anxiety about it, though, is realizing that the people that we watch on sitcoms are the same ages that we are now.
Oh, my God.
That was a realization I could have gone without.
Well, for me, younger. I'm like, huh.
I remember after college watching like March Madness or like football bowl games and realizing like, oh, all of those guys are younger than me now is weird. This realization is like 8 times that. Like that is very strange. Like Maxine is younger than me.
I was watching Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know why I decided to binge watch that, but I did. And I realized that a lot of them, one of them, Melody, I think, is like the same age as us or like close to. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's watching reality TV and watching them and knowing that we're the same age just feels weird. Yeah, like they should all be older. And the fact that they were the same age just feels like
there's a level of responsibility in their lives that I'm like, I don't know if I am embracing
that part
yet.
too.
Because some of that, like some of it will be, or they're married. I don't know how old the Cosbys were, but I'm assuming they were, late 40s, early 50s. And so I'm just like, I've kids. Like, where? Where?
I think it's even like wilder because of like the state of the economy, right? Like it just seems like we still haven't graduated to be able to amass the assets that the people that
right. Yeah. Like, did I do something wrong when 30 came?
Yeah.
No, still no. Like where? What happened? Right here between these 2 years, I'm not sure.
I'm not the editor of the newspaper the magazine that I work for yet. Like,
why am I not C-suite yet? Like, what is happening?
My life is not lifing. Is their life at a younger age than mine? I'm not sure where. But
it's
not
some expectations. The corporate ladder quite in the same way as we were told that was achievable for us.
What happened? What I tell myself is that they put more requirements, and that's why it takes us.
Because half of them didn't have college degrees,
right? Right, that part.
Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, like I'm trying to figure out too if it's to Tiff's point, is it that we're not making as much, or is it that what we started at seems like the ground and we should be high? Like what is it?
The disparity lies in the cost of things now,
and
the increase of salaries in that time has been like 12th of that. So while now things cost double what they did, our salaries have been
stagnant.
Yeah. I don't know if we're making like significantly less than our parents made
we're not,
at our age.
but the houses that they could have at the salaries that they make now are like
totally different.
I can't afford a single family home in this area.
Right.
My parents bought a house in a new development. Like, you know, like very early on in life.
My parents in their 50s built a house. I'm just like,
yeah. Also, goals. That and even like the debt to income ratio, like they weren't accounting. Well, one, college didn't cost $100,000, you know, to get through them, and then they also it wasn't included in their debt to income ratio either.
Yep.
So that's why we'll talk about it on another podcast.
It's all a sham.
The whole
capitalism pod coming soon.
We'll talk about that later. But
be ready.
You know, I'm dying to talk about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I was just like,
so you looked at I don't know how old were your parents when they had
30?
They were my age.
Yeah, my parents are in their 30s.
And
I'm 30.
Were you younger or older when you had?
I'm really bad with ages and dates. Okay. So I think
that's why you don't know how old you are right now.
Yeah, I don't. I have to pull out a calculator every single time someone asks me. But I think my parents are in their like 30-ishes.
So they had 3 kids. And you to your one. Do you like envision yourself?
No, but
having.
No, so to your point, I just thought about the other day when when I had Trey, my parents watched him for me, but when I went back to work. And so I would call, like, after I picked him up, she'd be like, oh, so I did laundry, I cooked a 3-course meal, I baked a cake from scratch, I tailored your dad's pants, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so who was watching the kid? Like, what? I'm confused, because when I had him, I could barely shower by myself. And you, like, is there a button I'm supposed to push where, like, you activate these powers? I'm so confused. Like, how you did all this in a do we have the same hours in a day? I'm so confused.
Your mom's like, no, me and Beyonce have the same hours in a day. You? I don't know what you got.
I'm just like, you did all that and you watched my child? Yeah. I'm so confused. And granted, she at that time had raised 3 kids.
Yeah.
My son is her 5th grandkid. So like, I understand that she has way more experience in this area. But I'm just like, when do the powers, like, when do I get this?
Let me mix up this vibranium purple leaf for you.
Start taking this ashwagandha.
And I pop them pills religiously, and I still can barely get laundry done and watch my kid in the same day. I'm so confused. But yeah, to your point, no, I don't know. I don't know when it kicks in.
I'm trying to tell you, there needs to be a ceremony where you go to sleep in the sand and you go visit your ancestors. And when you come back,
that would be nice.
It would be, because right now I feel like they failed us.
Yeah, that is
honestly,
what
ancestors.
Right.
Like, where are you at?
Yeah, it's a ceremony. Tell your mama to plan it. Go ahead and get that purple flower.
Something, because also, sis, why are you hiding it?
Mike, what? Don't gatekeep.
She just looking at you like, why can't you hear? Like, teach me, please.
Teach me.
My mom was married at 27, had me at 30, and was like C-suite for a defense contracting company.
At the same
chilling.
time?
Yeah, chilling. And my brain, my meager little brain cannot
fathom. Why is your 30 different than mine?
The same.
So different.
Inflation.
She'd be asking me now. She's like, "How's the business?" And she'll be talking to me like, "Oh, that's
aww."
Now she give you the poor little tank.
Good. Yeah. Yes. So it's
that's cute.
Yeah. We're like, you know what? If I was you, I would be saying the same thing to me.
Yeah. But I just remember, like, I feel like when I was looking at 36-year-olds, like, they just seemed like you might as well have been Della Reese. Like,
what?
Just old. I feel like 30, like in your like 40s and 50s.
I just understood what you meant by that.
I don't know. It seems so old. I just feel like I'm not there.
Immediate auntie.
Yes.
That's not even auntie. That's immediate grandma.
It is.
You got your nice little wig and with your burgundy in it.
Yes. With the finger waves. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. That's terrible.
Immediately.
I am sick.
I
You're not wrong, though.
They just felt different. I feel like our 30s and 40s are not theirs.
Yeah.
Like when I look at like Nia Long, for example.
Yeah.
They didn't look like that when.
Yeah,
50s.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
Like Halle Berry. Like none of them.
None.
It's
none
a
of them
different.
look like that.
No.
There's something to be said, I think, about our ability. I know for 80s child, maybe this also some for the 70s child, we had an opportunity to play a little longer than I think other kids. And we had more access to things than like our parents' generation. You might have just been playing with some toys in your backyard where we could go to different places either via TV or, internet at some point where they weren't. So I feel like time for play ends a lot sooner. I feel like we had more time to play. Is what my point is.
Like they had to like grow up a lot sooner, and that's why they're better at it. You've been an adult since you were 7,
right? That part. No, all seriousness. I think I was just getting ready to say that the priorities shifted. The priorities for our parents were, like you said, they got to play, they got to be a kid, and whatever have you. But it's like while they are in their 30s, having children and working. Now they have children that they need to figure out. So it's like that child needs to grow up just a smidge quicker than what they had to because their mom was at home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not that that's bad. So let me be very clear. I'm an advocate of a working mom if that's what you want to do. But I'm also an advocate if you want to stay at home with your kids and have the capability to do so, then do that too.
Soft life.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, their classes, like my mom was just talking to my niece about like home ec. I'm like, Mom, there's no such thing.
My mom was a teacher. My mom was a home ec teacher.
Yeah.
For years.
What do they do now?
She had to shift into, before she left, she had to shift into doing a parenting class, helping teachers become teachers, like kids become teachers.
They're now doing financial, they're like doing financial planning and.
Well, that's good. They needed to be doing that the whole time.
But I don't think they're doing learn how to cook.
No.
Or bake bread.
I'm okay with that. But I feel like
kind of, but not really, because also like some people do not know to cook.
Well, yeah, cooking is a life skill. Yeah. Like being able to sew can be a life skill.
I also
feel
think
like
that maybe
but they're not
carpentry too.
But they're not like having people walk around with fake babies at school. I don't think they're doing that anymore.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of an advocate of that.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the home ec class, I don't know if it might have evolved.
But it didn't change anything.
That wasn't part of my home ec ministry. We weren't doing the fake baby thing.
Well, I said that it evolved from that by the time I had gotten into, actually, probably by my senior year, there was a little bit of like parenting class that she was providing for these students as well.
I feel like some kids were taking that when I was in high school.
I feel like when I was in high school, some people were just parents.
Yeah.
They were bringing their real baby.
For some of the parents, it was just daycare.
I mean, good night.
You know what, Nicole? This feels real.
I'm just saying, like, the parenting class wasn't like, what is the purpose of the parenting class? I feel like in high school, when you watch those movies and they're doing the parenting class, they make it overly, they discourage
having
you.
children.
But
some of them
I can name probably at least 4 people that by the time we were either right about to leave high school or getting ready to start college, they're already moms.
Fair.
It was.
So
I mean, in high school.
No.
That doesn't mean you don't need it. Like I wish I had it now. I'm like, do I know what to do?
Sometimes watching somebody else's sometimes watching somebody else's struggle is all the parenting class I need.
Fair enough.
You gotta watch.
Yeah.
Y'all can babysit Trey anytime.
You know I got you. But I also have been an auntie since I was 9, so it tracks why I am.
It do.
The way I am.
You basically Miss Brenda out here.
Yeah. Well, actually, I strive.
You really are.
I strive. Miss Brenda's top tier.
Honestly. All the stuff you get done in a day. The fact that you're like, oh yeah, I cooked X amount of days this week. I'm like,
no, that was me last week, and I was like, wow, and I haven't cooked since. For 3 days in a row.
Let my family tell it now. They're like, you are failing us. We haven't eaten in the house in 3-4 days.
How many adults are in the house?
All of them.
Did any of them take home ec?
All of them. None of them.
Nope. That's for failing our children.
Now, I will say
education system is failing.
Madison, she will hook me up with a bomb meal. Like I've taught her well. Madison knows how to throw.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey.
Proud of her.
Especially a chickpea and rice. It's good.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're getting off topic.
What we gonna do?
Do you think you've met the expectations of your younger self? Y'all feel attacked.
Triggered. Not the blink stare.
Immediately, no. Good Lord, but didn't we just talk about where I'm at and all these people on these
I should have thrown out that question. We should have been like, absolutely not. I'm not answering this. For my mental health.
You're trying trying to do to me?
Okay, so where did y'all think you were
Where
going to
did
be?
it go wrong?
Yeah, where did you
It all
expect?
began.
So wait,
Well, when I was 9.
how old is everyone right now? Let's start there.
35.
I'm 33.
Okay, 35. Nicole's
I think.
35.
42.
Okay.
Okay.
Where did y'all think you would be at this age?
Where I am now is where I would have thought I was going to be 5 years ago. At least, bare minimum.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. I do resonate. I feel like I had like a restructuring in my mind in my early 20s when I was like, these niggas are not. I can't do with them what I want to do. So
This batch is spoiled.
yeah. So I feel like that restructured me. So like now I'm like in an okay place. I did think that I would be like better off in my career than where I am right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
I thought I would be C-suite by now for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I had always envisioned being in a totally different career. So, no.
Well, also that.
Yeah, it's like
it's also hard because we've seen so much growth in our like half of the companies that we work for didn't exist when we were dreaming.
That's
right,
true.
That's fair.
So like there is an element of just like trying to embrace the newness of what are technological advancements and like what that can do to an economy that
Yeah.
just like weren't even possibilities at the time that we were like what our 30s could look like.
Right.
Mhm.
No, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, and I think all of us have it was ingrained in us to work and not, well, for me at least, like not to be like, oh, let's go look for an entrepreneur. Like, what career are you going to choose?
Yeah.
For sure.
And so I was like, this one sounds good. Yeah, that one. That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do you envision everything that you know can happen within that lens? There's not an outside. I don't think any of us are living directly what we thought was going to happen either, mainly because we've been allowed a space that we weren't allowed before,
Yeah,
which I'm
that's true.
appreciative of.
Yeah.
And it's just weird because you're like,
Am I on track?
right, like
Because
what
what's
is
the
yeah,
track
what's the
now?
track?
Right, yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
fact that someone expected you to have a track,
Yeah.
you know, so young. Because you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to be a lawyer when I
Same.
was younger.
We all got bit by the Claire Huxtable bug and Maxine.
Yeah, and also a lot of my mentor, one of them was a lawyer.
Okay.
So I was just like, I want to be just like them.
Yeah.
And they're a lawyer. So, and they're a family person. Like, that's what I want to do. And then as you get older, like your interests change. If you go to
Yeah.
school, for me, I remember babysitting for a lawyer and he was never home.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to be a mom. So I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if these two things can coexist.
Right.
So that was a kind of like
Same.
it triggered differently for me.
For
That's
sure.
real.
But yeah, so yeah, I think I was gonna have a whole different life when I was in elementary school
Yeah.
than
For sure.
what I have right now.
If I can
definitely-
also say this, I think that the good thing is, though, if we're looking at the other side of things, so many ceilings have been broken from
Yeah.
the time we were children to now that it's hard for us to benchmark ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything that we thought was the top tier of, you know, like I need to attain this top tier thing. It has been reached and exceeded by somebody. So
Yeah.
it's like now you got to go to the next tier and then the next tier. And now we're adults finally. And it's like, okay, so how do I get to that ceiling? Because it
Yeah.
feels really, really far.
But you know, also
Yeah, I
what
hear
changed for me too is I remember like being a C-suite and like climbing the corporate ladder was like something that I really wanted to do, or like owning my own law firm or whatever it was when I was younger. But now I'm like, I don't care what my title is. Just
Right.
give me
me.
the money. Like,
Yeah, yes.
Right.
like
Yeah.
as long as my check is where I want to be and I can afford the lifestyle that I want to live, I don't care what you call me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't want the responsibility either. We're being real about it. Like, I just want the check.
I do go back and forth about that. That's
Yeah.
so real.
I would also like not the responsibilities either, but I also know that, you know,
They come,
Yeah. Because every time I'm stressed,
keep
I think about like, oh, my manager must be. If I'm stressed, sis, you must be.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I do think about that. But I also think it would be interesting to flip this question on its head. Like, what are some things that we've gotten involved in that we didn't know were possible when we were little? So it's not just, traumatic.
Well, I was thinking about our value system
Trauma.
changed. When you asked that question, when she started talking, I was like, well, my value system has changed.
For sure.
And it's not, I never looked at that as a negative
Benefit.
thing, right?
Yeah,
It's like to your point, there are certain things that have opened my eyes in viewing. I know I valued what I thought was a traditional life, and I'm not living a traditional life in any way, shape, or form. So I was like, my values aren't really what I thought they were. I mean, I appreciate
love that.
some of those things, but not all.
Okay.
But yeah, like everything that I value in life is not the same as what I kind of bought into, is what I kind of
For sure.
Yeah.
The unlearning.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think I'm trying to think of like one thing where, like the picket fence, the White House with the picket fence, like that's not a necessary thing.
Yeah. Because now I think about it and I'm just like, that's nice, but who's taking care of that yard? Like who's doing the landscaping? Like who's, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot that comes with, and I feel like we talked on this in like other pods, but there's a lot that comes with the responsibilities of ownership of assets or like things. Yeah. When you graduate to certain things, those responsibilities graduate right with it.
Yeah. I remember not wanting, like, I was like, when I wanted to be like in a penthouse, like a really cute, like penthouse apartment with the doorman and all the amenities and stuff. I was like, yeah, because like owning a house, like that doesn't sound like fun. I mean, I own a house and it's not always fun. Like I like having my own space. I like knowing that no one can just come in and make, well, I mean,
you got some time. Some time.
Like it's outside of like extenuating circumstances, someone can just come into my house and tell me to leave.
Right.
But now that I have it, I'm like, oh, like this is different than, than some like luxurious penthouse in like New York. That's probably way more money than I could fathom to make. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Every time we pay the mortgage, I do think like, there's some places in this house that I did not stand this month. And that's going to change. I need to be visiting all corners of it because of what we're paying to be here.
Yep.
5 days out of the month we're here.
I did not spend enough time in that one guest bathroom. I need to go down there.
Not you made a schedule for. Yes. Okay, we're going to take care of room 1.
Spend some time here.
Yeah.
Acquaint ourselves.
Maybe have a snack.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. I think that there is like the element of like entrepreneurship I did not know was as accessible to us as it is now. And maybe that also means it wasn't as accessible to us as it is now. I think that social media really like widened that gap and like really like gave us insight into things that like we could not have really like touched before. Like trying to have like someone like make clothes for you, like having a manufacturer like pre-internet, like there was no way that was happening. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like there are those like benefits too of what age has brought that I didn't see in the path for me that is now a reality.
I don't know about the entrepreneur like part, just because when my grandfather owned 2 of his own businesses. So that was always something that I saw and was like, this is very attainable. You could do this. And I was always pushed, like, as I was growing up, like business. That's what you should do. And I remember being in high school wanting to be a cosmetologist. And my mom was like, no. And I'm like, okay. So like I stuck with business. I'm not going to say it's my passion, but I'm not bad at it either. So I'm like, I think it's what is attainable, and 2, again, going back to what I said earlier, the rules have changed. So where my grandparents were entrepreneurs, some rules have shifted along the way where my mom and maybe her generation felt like they didn't have to be entrepreneurs or shouldn't have been. And now our generation's coming back in with, no, we should own our own things. Like we don't want to do the 9 to 5, do the C-suite. Why be the C-suite when you can create your own C-suite?
Yeah. Sometimes though, it's also not just want, it is the cost of things.
Yes.
Like the salaries now don't cover what the salaries used to cover.
Come on.
So now it's like, well, I need some multiple streams of income in order to live the life that I want to live.
Indeed.
Yeah. Sure.
Indeed.
And
especially
be
in this era.
appreciated the way you want to be appreciated. You might move to a lot of different companies, but sometimes it still may not be, enough or attainable. We worked with Shamisa and he told us what we needed to do, but still, sometimes
and
people
did.
don't. Right.
Come on, and did.
Thanks, Shamisa.
That's
Appreciate
right.
you, girl.
But it always didn't work out that way, or you can't move right at the time. So you're like really trying to figure out, how do I make this work? Like, what I can do. But even to that point, it takes a lot to be an entrepreneur. We don't also consider the fact that some people just don't want that instability. It's not always like, you can work.
For sure.
You can do some great work, but there's no guarantee that, every month is going to look the same.
Yeah. I enjoy my check being the same every month.
Right.
Right. So can I also, I know that we talked a lot about work. Can we also talk about the social part of things? I feel like when my mom was around about my age, they were having, you remember when they would
Pampered
have those
chef parties?
Either pampered chef parties or those painting parties where they would have like somebody come and bring all these paintings and a catalog.
Yes,
and,
I forgot
the
about
host
that.
would make all this food. My mama would make all this. She would make us cook all this food. Have all these people in the house. We had to clean up. People would come over and then either buy or not buy these paintings.
Yeah,
right?
I do remember that.
And then, but now it's like we get together. I think we still trying to go to brunch.
Yep.
And after brunch, it's the day party.
Well,
brunch
is the day party.
For some people trying to extend
might
the
have
night
been
away.
more of our early 30s, late.
I mean, 5
I'm
years
still in my
ago.
early 30s, and it still rings true for me.
Okay, see, exactly. Because I am not, and it does not.
When's the last time you?
Not because y'all don't go, so that's why I don't be out there. But I want to be. If
So
that's
my
any
point
consolation.
is
Better find
the
you some
social
younger friends.
It's a fair.
Not me having to outsource.
You might have to.
Listen, can I be home by 10 or not?
Right.
If we go to brunch, yes, that's
That's
the
what I'm
point.
saying. I'm in for brunch.
Yeah,
But do we ever really end at brunch?
but that's the
No.
point. But you still home by 10.
No, but let's be fair. DC brunch is different. DC brunch is not the same as like other city brunches.
Yeah, so we
Our
know what we're
brunch is
talking
a day
about.
is a day party,
Okay,
and I'm going to be in bed, makeup off
by 10. That's
But
when
I
brunch is
agree.
great.
Our parents were definitely doing. I remember very distinctly my mom having pampered chef parties and
Right.
like them bringing all this stuff in and people buying that. We're definitely not doing that. We're definitely going to dinners, doing brunches,
Right.
or like trying to figure out some type of like little vacation-y thing or like a spa date or something. Like
Mhm.
our ideas of fun is very different. But ask me when I turn. Wait, how old is my mama? Maybe when we're 50. I don't know if are we still going to be going to brunch?
I mean,
And being out-
yes, we'll
still
probably
wanna
be
eat and
brunch,
drink well.
but I'm not. I
Not
will
all
say
day,
this:
though.
I'm
That's what I'm
not
saying. I don't know if we'll be out there
having
till
nobody's
10.
pampered chef party ever.
The
Pampered chef doesn't
reality, the
exist.
reality girls
Yes,
be
it
at
still
50
does.
and be
And
out in the streets
Tupperware.
brunching. So
Yeah, but they
maybe-
on TV. That's why they're doing it.
Oh,
I'm trying to go to brunch and then we can go back to my house and drink for free for the rest of the day. I'm not trying to spend what I was spending in my early 20s. Like, I don't know how I was spending it either.
Me
That
either.
part.
When I look back, I'm like, how was I living a life?
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah,
The way I was at Fridays 5 days out of a week.
and we're
yeah. We be
5
up
days
there.
out of a week, I was sitting at Fridays. I am not lying to you.
I'm trying to be at 50. Like I want a chef to come to my house and cook us. Like
That
you know
energy.
what I mean? Like
I want to
I'm-
be in a villa with my friends, private chef.
yeah,
We chilling.
I'm not
We
trying to be
leave
out,
when we want
yeah.
to leave for excursions.
Yeah,
And we come back.
I want to be on like luxurious vacations.
I'm not trying to even do that at 50. I'm trying to do it this summer.
Now.
And we are.
And are.
Yeah, I just think maybe it's like less of the aging thing and it's just ideas of fun has just
Right.
evolved.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
than it was.
true.
Because
Well,
Russell, like,
that
are
could
Mary
be
Kay parties still
accessibility.
happening? Like, are people still doing that?
I mean, every
Well,
time
people aren't really. I mean, people wear makeup, but with
People in the-
panty.
on Facebook though, I still see like people are like, "Oh, I got my Mary Kay car."
Facebook?
But it's someone I went to college with.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
very
life.
shocking.
My cousin was doing Mary Kay. Like, and when I say my cousin, she's 3 years younger than me. I think she's about 3 years younger than me.
Trying to get that pink
She is
Cadillac.
she just had her third baby and was selling Mary Kay successfully, like at pink car status. And I'm like,
I want to know because I never hear any crazy shit about Mary Kay. Like, are they not a pyramid scheme like the rest of them?
I think it's just who they
It's
appeal
just
to.
the makeup. Like, it's not a hierarchy situation too.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it is. I mean,
I never hear them getting in trouble.
I know,
Well,
I'm not going to be scourged their name.
let me
Too
say
many
this.
black people are flourishing.
They are.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
the other places don't get in trouble. They
I
still
think that
thriving.
there is-
Herbalife still.
being when you are in direct sales, I think it depends on. It's not always pyramid. Like it could be like
Adjacent?
Yeah, it's pyramid adjacent.
It could
It's
be-
You
not.
sound like they part of their law
small.
team.
I
Triangle.
mean, as someone who does direct sales
I was about to
himself,
say because her
Was it-
direct
it's a
sales
marketing.
job.
Oh, mind my business. Okay.
I mean, but it isn't like for me. I'm sitting in on the situation. I know people are like, "Oh, it's not a pyramid. It's not a pyramid." And I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna see for myself." And I have like, I mean, I'm not out here poaching y'all for things all the time. Because if it was a pyramid, I'm like, I need for y'all to join my team today, right now. Come on in the room. Like I'm not doing it.
But it would benefit you if you did.
I mean, it would, but I'm not gonna pressure. I mean, y'all know what it is. Y'all tried it for yourselves. That's your business.
It is a great product.
Yeah,
I'm not joining your team, but it's a great product.
I mean, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Damn, I need some more air fresheners too.
To your point, I think it's
wax.
accessibility, and I think that's why interest and fun have changed because our parents maybe had 4 kids or 3 kids at the time when they were our age.
Point.
So
True.
why are they going to travel anywhere?
Also,
I also feel like travel was more. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Was more arduous for our parents than it is for us. Like
Yes.
having to work through a travel agent, like the idea of travel is just like a lot more of a project.
Well, travel
than
agent
it is just like hopping and going somewhere.
Or paying for that
and
many kids.
also one paying for that many kids, and 2 also
travel
knowing
used to be
where you
cheaper.
can travel.
Yeah,
Still,
I think
was
that's the
still-
idea
and it
of
still
like
is a thing.
where I want and can go and what is safe is very different generationally.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely,
Sure.
for sure. Because my parents' idea of vacation was going to Mississippi every summer. Like I didn't do the Disney World beach trip. Like I didn't do none of that until I was in high school, and it was with someone else's family.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like our vacations were to go see family because we didn't live near our family.
Ours were, but we incorporated Disney.
So-
with the family.
Like,
Never.
we
I
would
didn't go to
take-
Disney until I was 16, and it was with my friend's family.
Wow.
One
No,
of the-
we would do both. So like we would go visit like North Carolina to visit family, but then we would also take like my mom's parents would come with us and go to Disney. We went to Toronto. We drove everywhere.
Yes.
Same. My
for
family
sure.
did too. Mrs. 22
Niagara Falls.
hours in the car with 3 children.
Oh, wow.
Devastating.
You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. My parents are why I have a travel bug now. That's why
good.
I can't sit still.
That's
I mean,
good.
but that's good though
Yeah.
that you were exposed to that.
I mean, it's good, but
it's not costly.
It's not. It's not.
I mean, I get it, but
Hey,
I mean, I know for us,
if you
I
got
don't
it.
remember taking like family trips was going to the country to go visit, like Carol, go to see our family, but we weren't going to Disney. I think I was in
Hey,
my
grandma.
like I think I was like 12 the first time we did like a real family vacation anywhere, and then the second vacation we took was my mom's boss let her use his timeshare.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't.
No,
but I
that's
mean, like,
wild.
I still had a good time, and like other people took us places. Like my aunt and uncle, they have one child, so like if they wanted to go to the beach and take us, they would take us so he wouldn't like be by
alone.
himself and stuff
That's
like that.
nice.
But like if I was going on a vacation with my parents, it was to see my family in either
Right.
Mississippi or Chicago.
Oh, some of my favorite memories are my dad picking me up out of my bed at like 3 a.m. and putting me in the back of a rental van
Right.
and just driving for hours. And me listening to Michael Jackson on my little cassette player. Like it looked like a fucking suitcase and my headphones on. Like in the back of a car. Like
Right.
some of those are my like favorite memories. Like
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going, but
Good
best.
time.
Right. We outside.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it also changes too because I feel like everyone their age was like probably doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Right.
So
for
like
sure.
all of our parents around 30 or 40s, their friends probably also had kids, whereas like our generation is sporadic. Like
very.
I have my mom friends, and then I have like you
Us.
guys. So like I do different stuff. Like whereas I
That's
take
not right.
Trey
I feel
a
like
lot.
I'm the only non-mom friend here for real.
Y'all have kids?
No.
I mean, Saya, because she nannies, I just feel like everyone else is like more mom-like than me.
But I can't, like, I will bring
But I
Trey, but
understand what
he's going to be the only kid.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if I'm out with y'all and I bring
Yeah.
him, like, you guys are all
You got
his
helped.
aunties. Yeah, like, you guys are helping me watch him. But, like, if I go out with my other friends, like, we're doing kid stuff with other kids. Like, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, whereas our parents, I
Wow,
feel like
I didn't even know that was a reality that you were dealing with.
Yeah.
What? That I take him to do, like,
Kid
mom
stuff?
stuff?
With other, yeah, like I didn't know that was part of your life.
I mean, I understand that because I mean, if you think about just even, I mean, most of us met at church. Well, no, we all met at church, but like
Yeah.
us as meeting as children,
Yeah.
we were all around the same age. So our moms
Had us together all
had
the
us
time.
together all the time.
I also don't want to bring him around y'all. Like, sometimes I want to be
By
An
yourself?
an adult,
By
but
yourself.
not, and I don't want to be a mom.
Right.
I want to, drink margaritas all day and go
Right.
home and, wake up and not know where I am. I want to do that sometimes.
But also knowing that he's well cared for.
Of course, my son
Yes.
is always well taken care of. He is safe every single
Yes.
time. But when I want to do like kid stuff, I don't always call y'all because y'all don't always want to do that. Y'all don't have kids.
Call me.
Yeah,
I like
would
watching
say-
movies and things.
That's not
Nicole,
what we're
you don't
doing.
come outside when it's us.
You don't. Actually,
So
every
you
single time
s-
Trey is involved, though, I will say she'll either take him somewhere or she'll show
I
up.
feel
it's
mildly
us?
offended by that, but it's
So
fine.
us?
It is.
Mildly offended.
is.
I'm a
It
little
is.
bit hurt, but okay.
was
Nicole will
gonna
be
say-
like, "Oh, can I take Trey here?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I've been seeing you in 6 months." Where are you taking my kid?
I took him to the baseball game.
You did.
We were there. Yes, what's good?
You're so cute.
Point made.
But I did take y'all to the baseball game too. So
Years ago.
it
Was I there?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
I do not have this memory.
Yeah, I don't think this.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure Patrick met us.
Oh,
It was the three of us. Saya couldn't come. Or was it Carol that couldn't come? It was one of the two of y'all that couldn't
I
come.
don't know.
I
Either
came to
way,
one.
we
But I don't know if
digress.
the rest of y'all were there.
This
for
feels
that.
ghetto.
Anyway, it was Saya and I and Tiff
then-
and Patrick. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We be outside.
When you said years ago, I didn't think that it was in Patrick history. I was thinking it was like much further ago.
Mm.
But okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it was.
To be fair, he's been around a while.
It's been years.
Whatever. Anyway.
So, do you guys think that us viewing our 30s and 40s is more so us or the people that we're around? Like, I feel like all my friends from high school, I was thinking about it, all my friends from high school, except for one, has kids. All the rest of it, single, solo, or like dating, but not kids. And he's the only one who has kids, has a house. The rest of us do not at all. So it's like, or like I have a house, but like that house with like a lawn and like everything we talked about. So I wonder if that's something too, like the people that we've connected with, maybe having like, do you feel like some of your friends may be in places you thought you were going to be? And does that influence you in any way, shape, or form?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I feel like there was a path for our parents.
Yeah.
Like you graduate, you go to college, you get married, you have children, you work for the same company for the rest of your life. Like I
Yes.
feel like that was like their
Yes.
path. I
Yep.
feel like for us, it's just like, you know, like you know what I mean? Like there's
Here, there, and everywhere.
yeah,
Terrorist
like
event.
there's no one straight path. Yeah.
Terrorist event.
But
it was
actually,
horrible.
school shooting.
Side note, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was driving home. I saw a plane. It was like flying this way. And I was like, why do I get this level? Like for the last 2 weeks, every time I see a plane in the sky that's weird, I'm like, I have like,
Insurrection.
okay, I
Intrusive
digress.
thoughts.
But it's like
Intrusive thoughts.
intrusive
It is.
thoughts. But to your point, like it's all over the place. It's
That's
like
what I'm saying.
never.
Yeah, that's why I feel like because there's not a one path fits all for us.
Right.
It just feels like it's different. It's like, wow, I do envy parts of my friends' lives that are different than mine. I don't necessarily feel like my path is not the right path.
Well,
Right.
is it
I hear that.
because we were encouraged to have individuality because our parents had that prescribed life? So they're like, don't do what we did.
No, my
Find
parents
your-
were up and like, do what I did.
Well, I'm
This is
saying
the way.
Some parents are like, some parents are like, no. I mean, mine was the same way, but some parents are like, no, we want you to do life how you want to do life. And then some parents are like, no, this is the only way you should do it. If you do it any other way, I'm going to be disappointed.
I feel like we took the reins of, I want to live my life like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that my parents were like necessarily like, you have to do life this way, but I wasn't really presented with other options.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
I didn't like know life could be lived other ways. I
Right.
will say that until like I had seen more life
Right.
outside of my house. You know what I
that's
mean?
fair.
I will say too, I'm having this conversation with my godfather, this type of conversation with my godfather. I mean, all of the people that I have been around, that my parents are around, did things in a certain way that allowed them to get to a certain space.
Mhm.
So their circle of influence, sure, I can hear them being like, yeah, look at everybody. If you like this, then you need to maybe do this. I can see that being, their view of the world and them wanting the same things that for their kids that they have
Yeah.
themselves.
For sure.
I can totally see that being something, and them also understanding that they came from, all of our parents, I think, came from positions where they kind of attained more than they had. So for sure, they don't want to see their kids going,
Which is a bar in
Right.
and of itself.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
that,
for sure.
I can only imagine like how that shifts your mentality and how that predicates like what you are going to share to your kid.
Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that most of our parents, while stern and wanting to give us direction, also were like, there's a lot of things out here that you are getting that I never had access to. So I'm
Right,
going to try
right.
to give you access to all these things. And
And a lot of things that they've never seen before.
right,
Mhm.
yeah, a ton of stuff that they've never seen before.
Yeah.
They were like, if it betters you, then this is the thing that I would like for you to be able to have, which then allowed us choice.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
Because
For
if we
sure.
did not have those things, then we would
Right.
not have choice. Now, did we choose
or
what they thought was
there were some missteps, but I think we did all right.
I mean, I don't think that our parents are.
But did we not?
Well, I was about to ask, like, do you ever feel like for my family, for example, both my parents have multiple degrees. I only have one. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I wonder if that they always thought because they did, their children would, or if like we didn't reach the pinnacle to exceed them because we didn't, at least educationally.
Well, I thought that, yes. I definitely think, I don't know if that's true, but accurate. I know, I understand where they are at in life. There are expectations for me so that they know that I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That there's levels to for them to feel like, oh, all the work that I've done has paid off. And I think that's where they're at with regards to, what was the question? But
having multiple degrees.
Or like, do you feel like do you feel like you're a disappointment, but like, do you think like your parents are proud of where you're at? I guess is like where I'm getting at.
I think that my parents have 2 degrees too. And now I do, but I never felt pressured to get my second degree. I definitely like felt like going to college was an expectation.
Yeah.
And that was an expectation I had of myself. So like there wasn't like a lot of friction there. But I do think that for them, it like means security.
Yes.
Where for me on this side of events, it feels more like my second degree created more insecurity for me than it helped. Because of my student loans, and I didn't have any before I got my second degree.
Yeah.
So like there's that aspect now where I wish that I had, hindsight is 20/20. If I had seen like what would transpire now in the state of events, then I maybe would have made a different decision. But I don't feel like they were disappointed in me for not having a second degree or for not choosing to. But I always had that outlook. I planned on going to law school, like when we talked about like becoming a lawyer, like long before I ever even went to college. So like, it just was, to me, it was just like the next step of events.
Yeah.
But I think that that's the hard part too, is like shifting that aspect. I think for me, like getting a secondary degree was very much, this is what you do. Like this is what comes next. And so like trying to like break my brain out of like that like linear thinking has been very difficult for me in like the trajectory of life. Because like once you get past college, if that is the route that you choose to go, like it's just an open field. Like there is no linear, like it's no path. Like you can choose your adventure. You could do A, B, C, Q, D, Z.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a direction. It doesn't have any like trajectory. Like it just is what it is, and it is your own adventure. But that's just not how I looked at it back then.
Yeah. Do you guys remember those books where you could like choose, like
literally choose your own adventure?
Choose your own, like how the story was going to end? Because for me, I always thought I was going to go to undergrad and then I would go to grad school. Like it was just always, because that's what my parents did. Like they got their master's degree, so I just knew that was my life too. And then after I graduated, I just didn't know what I wanted to do next. Like when I was in school, I went to school for journalism. I wanted to be a VJ. I wanted to be on MTV so bad and be like on TRL and like introducing.
You have a personality for it.
I wanted that life so bad. And then I remember interning at a news station, like the local news station in Raleigh. And I was like, you guys have to shoot, edit, and write the copy for all your stories. This is ghetto. And you don't get paid that much for it either. And it also like Raleigh is not a small market, but it's also not like a huge market either. So I would have to start in like Middletown, Bubble, like Iowa somewhere. So I was like, this is not the life that I want to live. So after I graduated, I was like, I don't. No. And it was also in the middle of the I'm thinking of pandemic, but it was not the recession. So it was like, there's no jobs anywhere. I don't know what I want to do. Going to school would be easy because I could just go to school. Yeah. But I also, same thing. I didn't graduate. I came out of school with no student loans. So like taking on a degree, not knowing what I wanted to do with loans just felt irresponsible to me. So I came out of school like literally lost. Like just trying to find any job I possibly could. And so for a while, I think I felt like maybe I'm not a disappointment because I felt like my parents are proud of me, but I was just like, I'm not where I had a path and all of a sudden like the path stopped. And I don't know if I go left, right, or straight.
So do you think that maybe the difference, or like, would you say it's based on familial values and responsibility? Because responsibility for our parents, maybe at our age, was different versus like, not only, I mean, I know maybe there's an expectation for education, right? But like for me, neither one of my parents have a degree, but it was always absolutely known that education was important in our family. So it's,
how do you instill that?
I mean, my dad was always very much so like, even when I would go to my grandparents' house after school, and every day he was like, before you do anything, you do all your schoolwork. And I'm like, but I'm at Granny and Granny's. They make the rules. And he's like,
you don't live here, nigga.
well, I'm like, how you gonna tell me what I can do after school? Like, but Granny and Granny is what? And I knew off the break, I was not trying that, man. It was, I came home, the first thing I did every day was all of my homework, because I knew absolutely if my dad came home and found out I had unnecessary homework that I didn't even try to do earlier today, that was going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, now that I'm older, see the value in that. It's like, get it done so that you can
have the day for yourself.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm like, I have all these nieces and nephew, and I'm like, especially my youngest one, because I work with my sister to help her out, because my sister's a single mom. So I'm like, make sure you do all your schoolwork. There's no reason why, like, so that you can do all the TikTok and things that you want to do for the rest of the day.
Kind of like auntie.
TikTok things.
Right, do all the TikToking you want later, but do all your schoolwork first. And I'm like, so I get it, but it's also, now we have a different, for me personally, I feel like we have a different level of responsibility than what my parents did, because their responsibility literally was go to work, collect your check, make sure your house is taken care of. For me,
survive.
Right. I mean, basic survival. But for me, because the age gap from parenthood to grandparenthood is different, it's because, like you said, your mom helps with your son. Mm-hmm. My grandmother helped with me, but my parents are older. My dad's health is decent, so he could probably help me take care of my kid, but I'm not gonna leave my child with my mama all day, because I have to help take care of her. So it's like, my responsibility card may look different than other people's responsibility card. So it's,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think that plays a part, but I also think the economy plays a part.
Yeah,
like our parents got secondary degrees, and it didn't do to us what it would do to them, what it would do to us.
For sure.
So I feel like that plays a big role too, in like what the decisions that you make and how important education might or might not be, based on those decisions.
Also, now, before it was like, just get a high school diploma, or like just get your undergrad. Now they're like, if you don't have your doctorate, blah, blah, blah. But also, like, that's not necessarily true anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the experience plays a huge role.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't necessarily, they're pushing degree for other reasons, but it's not necessarily a need like it was. I feel like when we were coming up, it was like college or military. At least in my house, it was you go to college or you go to the military, or you're a bum. I feel like there was no other option.
Yeah.
Well, on this side of life, I'm not sure what the third option is either.
Well,
that kid that makes the big opening presents on YouTube.
The one I know that in our household, it was military, trade school, or college. Like, those are the three options.
Yeah.
You can pick one of the three, but any other three, if it's like
one of those three,
it's going to be one of the three.
Yeah.
Because even if you decide to not pick any of the three, then you're not living in my house. So you can make whatever rules you want.
Yeah. Which is another pod.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, so my niece was saying to me last night, she was like, wow, auntie, you're born in the 20th century. And her mom, who's 5 years younger than me, and she's like, well, I think my mom just tries to be hip. And I'm like, I don't think she tries to be hip. I think it's,
your mom's cool.
She is. I try to, but maybe it's because the age gap between even us. I'm thinking, like, if we're talking about is 30, 40 the new 20, some people I want to make sure I'm saying this not in a rude way, because some people
say
can be
how
like,
you feel it.
Oh, you think you that age, or you act that age, but some people genuinely just have a young spirit about them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
some people have an old spirit about them.
Yeah, right. And I'm okay with that, because I'm fine with being the resident auntie. I like that space for me. Like, that's how I love people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cook you a good meal and be like, all right, well, now leave me be.
Not leave me be.
I hate to love you and leave you.
Right. The food's on the stove. Now don't talk to me now. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
What do y'all love about being this age?
Ooh. What a question. I love feeling established. I think I do finally feel like
Yeah, I would say
I'm stable. Still feels like a triggering thing to put on myself.
Yes.
It still feels a little bit scary, but like I do feel like established. Like I don't unfortunately feel like the idea of my nieces coming to like visit me and staying with me by myself still feels like I don't know if I'm ready for that. But
does your mom know you're here?
Yes. Are you sure? They knew that that your grandfather was not coming. It's just me. They knew that. That feels weird for me, but I think like feeling like I'm in a space where I'm not like trying to figure out what's next, like is really nice. Like that, like I'm not anxious. It's not that I'm not, it's not that I'm not forward looking, but it's not like I'm like, okay, I thought I would be here. I thought I would be here. Like right now, I'm finally like at that space where I'm just like, okay, like I'm just like
being present.
Stasis is fine. Like I'm good with it right here. You know what I mean? And I've been waiting a long time to feel like that. A very, very long time to feel like that. So that is one of the benefits, I think. Yeah.
I would agree with that. Like a sense of just being. Like you don't like. There's degrees to be gotten, but it's not required.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I go to work and I can do a whole lot of work, or it almost is like almost feeling like finally having some level of control over your own life. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to decide, I don't have to go back to school right now if I don't want to. I don't have to go get that second, third, fourth degree. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I can create whatever I want for me in this moment, or I can just be. I think I like that space. That's the one thing I like about being at this age.
I think for me, kind of similar, but I think before it was always constantly feeling like my value systems weren't as important as everybody else's with regards to what I was having going on in my life. If that makes sense, right? Like you,
like comparatively speaking.
Yeah. So like you're like, okay, I think I value this, but I'm not really sure. No one else really values it like I value it. So maybe I'll keep doing this, but I'm not really sure yet. I don't know. You know, like that.
Can you give examples of like what specifically you're talking about?
Trying to think of like when I just feel like no, not right. But
I was just curious.
No, it's okay. I think overall, I'm just thinking about myself as with regards to, I think how I envision time, how I envision, myself, like even rest or,
okay.
You know, like people, I think the value system now is to like keep going, keep doing
productivity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's going to be like, capitalism pod too.
Right. Am I me being okay with like, no, but you value your rest because you know you're better when you're rested. You know that like some things, yes, there's a ton of things that you are already doing. So let's not discredit those either. But the things you are missing out on, you're missing out on, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like your value system, my value system has shifted from like,
FOMO.
Sometimes FOMO, or sometimes feeling that the value is in the relationship and being able to always be there or always be present. Sometimes that's not it. It's just when you are making it quality, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that for me had to shift. I had to shift that and be okay with making quality moments for myself and not feeling like when other people felt like, oh, you should have been there, or we really needed you for X, Y, and Z, but you figured it out. So like, you know, like that's what I mean with like my value system shifting. Because I feel like when you're younger, you're impressed to think a lot of things about what everyone else already thinks about something, right? And so it's very much easy for someone to maybe even influence you. Whereas now, when you get older, it's like that's good for you, but it is not going. That's not what's not going to happen. Is
I feel like that's the part I'm still waiting to graduate into. Like I still am experiencing more FOMO than I would like, and I'm still letting people impress upon me their value systems more than I'm like, that wasn't important to me until I knew it was important to you.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't happen overnight. So that's another thing too. I don't think
I feel like it's gradually happening, but like I'm waiting to feel like I'm like over the hump about it.
Maybe
for
it's
sure.
40s. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I don't know. I can't really say based on having 2 years kind of lost I turned 40 in the pandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's some other
yeah.
things that shifted with that too. But I think that coming out of the pandemic, I don't know if that's coming out of the pandemic or 40. Could be both. But that's
Yeah.
kind of where I'm at.
For me, I enjoy being like a safe space for my nieces and nephews or like other like younger kids. Like
Yeah.
I remember my nephew and his girlfriend came for something over
Your dad's retirement?
Yes, that's what it was. My dad's retirement party.
Not me knowing
no,
you're not being there.
That's not it. It wasn't that. It was something
Engagement
else.
party.
Yes, it was the engagement party. And I was talking to his girlfriend and she was just like, oh yeah, Isaiah told me like I want to talk to anyone, like it should definitely be you. Like you're the one that I can definitely like, if I'm by myself or anyone, like I can like, you're the one that I can come and talk to if I'm.
That's so sweet.
And I was just like, I
That is
didn't
super
know
sweet.
anyone felt that way about me.
Aww.
But I like that. And even like,
Yeah.
or the fact that my nieces and nephew, like they want to spend time with me or they want to come over, even if we're not doing anything fun or going out and like doing stuff, like just sitting and vegging out on the couch, watching TV. Like
Right.
I enjoy that I can be a safe space for them. I like that if I have extra money, I can cash at them. And it's not like, oh, I really needed that $20. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is. But I was just like you're in college. I know you need money. If I can bless you with it, like it is what it is. Like I enjoy being that for someone else because someone was that for me.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I enjoy being. Because sometimes I'm like, why do people let me watch their children? You know what I mean? Like I still don't feel like a real, like the adult. I mean, we talk about this all the time when people are like, when kids come up and like, oh, like, and someone's like, oh, go find an adult. And a kid finds you and you're like, no. They meant a real adult, not me.
Not
put some time in.
Go find someone
Still
else.
making reckless decisions.
You need
not
to go.
me.
Don't you recognize the seniority scale in here?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? I'm not the adult they said. That not me. Go find someone else.
When they said that, they did not mean.
Yeah,
That
like,
was me at the time I offered to watch Trey and I was like, why did I do that? I thought he was probably trained. I never changed a diaper before.
Yeah, when she texted me, like, so what way does the diaper go? Girl, it says back. Diaper literally says back.
I put it on the right way.
Now
Thank
it
God
does.
I was upstairs.
Now it does.
What happened? But I was just like, but it just that idea of that.
It
I'm
worked
like,
out. We had fun.
you
He
did.
was safe.
He was in the house. I was
He
upstairs.
was safe anyways.
My God.
But yeah, like the fact that I can be trusted with other people's children, like, and the fact that I'm a safe space for kids, like that feels really good to me.
Yeah.
I love that I can be that for other kids.
I would agree to that
Aw,
too.
that was more
'cause
sentimental than I expected from you.
Oh, not a tear.
I'm not crying. My eyes
Oh,
itching.
I was like, who's
Oh.
crying?
Not me.
The eyelash.
But yeah, no, I would agree with that too. I definitely enjoy being that auntie. I mean, y'all see, was that auntie? Yes, the kids are actually still at my house, I think.
Wait,
but
do their parents? No, you're not there.
no, their parents know
I'm still
where I'm
watching
at.
them.
The nanny cam.
They're at home with other adults, mind you. But it's like
Someone should not trust you with no
to your point, like the fact that they just like to come and hang out. They just like to be at my house. You know, I don't have to be there because there's other adults there, but they just like to be there. But
So
I
it's
think
not you, it's the dwelling.
yes. Well, I guess so.
It's
I'm
both.
just joking.
It's both.
I was joking.
You know, but also like the part of having that little bit of extra finance because, like I said, I've been an aunt since I was 9, and okay, at 15, I thought I was balling with my weekly money I was getting working at the hair salon, but knowing now,
They couldn't
like,
have none of that.
I mean, no, they couldn't because
Yeah.
whatever. But now to know that I do have that little bit of extra money to be like, okay, it's your birthday, or you know, let me pay for this for you because I know that you ain't got it, you know, type thing. That's that's always fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's when I really feel like an actual adult.
right.
Like the rich auntie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ish, addition.
Yeah. It's like slight on the rich.
No, I'm claiming that.
I'm
They call
claiming
me.
it too. I'm just saying for right now.
They call me rich auntie, and I'm gonna receive all of that.
I feel you.
Speak to
I'm
my
just saying my
pocket.
bank account doesn't necessarily agree.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I ain't say mine agreed either. I just
vibes
said
are
I'm gonna
rich.
take it.
The account is
Yes. The vibes is definitely on that. But yeah. Is there anything that you guys wish you knew? Like if you could tell your younger self something or like what they should look forward to at being this age, like is there anything that you can think of?
Let me think on that.
I think just that you're gonna be okay.
Mm.
Right? Like I think there's so much anxiety about trying to get to this age, or even if you're gonna get to this age, or what it's gonna look like when you get to this age, and when you finally get to this age, you're just like,
now what?
All right.
Right.
Well, I'm here now. It is what it is. And I think that's comforting. And I think probably adults probably did try to tell us, but still, if it's coming from your own self, you probably maybe listen a little more. But yeah, like, I just feel like we don't get enough time. We get so much time worrying about stuff that by the time you hit at least your 40, just like, you're going to be all right.
Yeah. I think for mine, it's like, you're not going to have it all figured out. Like, it just is what it is. Like, you're not going to you're not going to hit 30 and suddenly like all the floodgates of answers just come like coming down from the sky and you just know everything and it's all figured out like that. I don't know why I thought at 30 I'd be like, I'm going to know everything and I'm going to have it all figured out. And then I hit 30, I'm like, so God, why am I still trying to figure this out?
Right.
Like, you failed. I don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't do everything you said. I thought, you know what I mean? Like, I just thought that the floodgates were going to open with answers and they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think that, and this might be a tangent. If it is, then just like Nicole, that's later. Do you think that maybe perhaps the people who are our age when we were kids, maybe, I'm not going to say shielded us, but it's like, grown folk talk.
Why don't they tell us?
I mean,
is it gatekeeping?
I think they definitely. I think we were shielded from a lot of things.
Is it allowing us
kids to be kids?
Kids to be kids.
Let me enter a third option into the conversation.
Okay.
Is it a lack of vulnerability?
Oh,
because why haven't I ever heard my parents be like, listen, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at age X.
Yeah.
I've never heard them say that.
Until we get older. And then they're like, oh no, I ain't know what the hell I was doing.
Okay, no, not until I was older. I still have never heard my parents say that.
Oh, but you know what? I do.
Maybe I'm referring to myself.
Well, I would say, I think but it's also like once you hit a milestone. So like after I got married, that's when I started hearing, oh, marriage, like it's hard. It's work, girl. Marriage. Before it was, oh, it's sunshines and roses. It's Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay every night. Like it was, you know what I mean? And then you got married. You're like, well, girl, it's going to be work. This thing is going to get on your nerves. Or after you have kids, like, oh my kid. I just feel like once you hit a milestone is like when
but I want to know about
they push you to the milestone.
Right. Yeah. And then they unlock it after you get there.
There was somebody who was on.
I don't know, but someone should have. Where's the preview section?
There was someone who was on. It was some like late night talk show. Maybe it was Kimmel. I can't remember. They were talking about how this happens. How before they had kids, like while his wife was pregnant, everyone's like, oh, like kids, they're so wonderful. It's so great. Like you're gonna love it. And as soon as she gives birth, they're like, welcome. Like, why didn't you tell me before? I was like, because I wanted you here with me in the misery.
On the
I wanted
side.
you didn't understand until you could experience it yourself. And I don't know who that serves.
I'm just thankful for like my friends that got married or had kids before me that were honest. Like, just make sure this is what you actually want to do.
And the Reddit questions that are like very honest about like what it's like to either like not have kids or do have kids or not be married and be married.
Yeah.
And all those things.
Yeah. I remember my first like marriage. So like at our church, they have groups. Like they have like the singles ministry. They have the married ministry. There's not a parents ministry, but there should be.
I think there is. They did like a women's thing one time where they broke up in those groups.
Oh, okay. But I just remember going to my first like couples ministry one. I'm like,
yeah.
So if I back out now.
Yeah.
Are y'all okay?
Blink twice.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember being like that. I remember being like, should I be here?
Yeah. That part.
I just remember being like, so can y'all come too? Where are my friends?
That was how I felt the first time you went up. Yeah, the first time you went up, it was you by yourself. We were
because you were either engaged or married at the time, and we were all single.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
single?
I mean, my taxes say I was single. According to the Lord, I was still single.
Not according to the Lord, because it's the taxes. All right.
Anyway,
according to the federal government. Well. But yeah, I was just like, this doesn't sound like fun. I don't know if I
abort.
But does it not?
Maybe they don't bring the fun to the conversation because that's not what they need to work through.
True. Yeah. I was just like,
well, yeah.
I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Fair.
But yeah.
What was the original question? Was it something that
you wish you knew
now
about being this age?
I had one. Now I lost it. Dude, do you have one?
I mean, I think y'all kind of already touched on is that like you just don't have it all together. My sisters are 14 and 15 years older than me, so it's like I was like your niece and nephew, technically, even though they were my sisters, it very much appeared that they had their shit together. And it wasn't until I got older and then I realized that maybe that wasn't the case, which is why I asked the question about like, are they gatekeeping? Are they shielding me or whatever? Like trying to protect maybe like my childhood innocence. But it's like, I don't know, because I feel like, and I don't know if it's to their detriment, but like sometimes I find myself having very real conversations with my nieces and nephew. Like, look, you're going to run into things, but I think the thing that because it's what do I enjoy the most, right? Is that
what you wish you knew? What
I wish I knew is I wish I had known someone who, to your point, was more vulnerable. I wish I had known that you don't have to meet a bar. You can create your own. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing I wish I had known.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
I think something that I actually did learn that would have helped me to know it sooner is that you can unlearn something that does not suit your life at any moment in time. I think that, like, for me, I remember when my best friend's mom was like, yeah, don't get married before you're 27. And I was like, don't get married until what?
I'll be ancient.
It just sounded so ancient to me at the time. Like, sis, are you crazy? And now, A, I stand by that. But B, I think like well before I turned 27, like maybe like 23, 24, like I like had like a severe like unlearning component to my brain. I like never had like this, like there's an age I want to be married by. It was a time that I needed to have kids by. It was like, you definitely get to like choose those things for yourself. And I had like the age that my mom did it in my mind, not as something to meet, but just like kind of like a marker to like, okay, this is like a range. You know what I mean? And I think it's helpful that my mom didn't get married until 27 because that sounded old to me then. But like on like where right out of college, we were like, oh, I expect marriage like my like college sweetheart. And I just like knew that like the person I did in college was not someone I was marrying. So like that made it easy for me to be like, okay, well, gonna miss that boat. Yeah, you know? And I think like soon after that, I experienced my first situationship before I knew situationships were a thing. Like I just like it wasn't an option that had entered my mind. And so like after that, I was like, oh, like I need to be dealing with this completely differently. And just like from that point, how I dated was very different. And I just like was never like as emotionally involved again until my husband. And it was just like very much like, I'm going to choose like how I want to move forward in this. Like it's not going to happen to me by accident. I'm not going to be dealing with these like fuck niggas like for the rest of my life. Like I'm not like, there are certain things. I was dealing with a boyfriend in college that was like, I could have had a second job as a private detective because that was how I had to operate with him. It's like, if I want to be operational in my life, I can't have a relationship like this. It takes up too much time and energy and emotional sustenance. Like it just is like not an option. So like, I think like from all of those like learning aspects, it like really allowed me to like hone in on what I was looking for, you know what I mean? In a way that I don't wish on anyone, but was fruitful for me, you know what I mean? In a way that I would not have expected.
Yeah.
So to that end, I think unlearning and like relearning and like choosing what works for you and dropping what doesn't is like very, very fruitful.
Yeah. Right. I've been thinking like, was there piss in the dating pool when like y'all were in college or like yes when we were?
No, it's all around.
It's all around.
No, I mean like our parents, like,
no.
Like was
no,
it?
because you know what? They marry the dysfunction.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not our parents, but our grandparents. I feel like there are like aspects where it's just like the stuff that they had to put up with, like we just don't have to now. Or like people are like more vocal about like not wanting to, not having to.
There was definitely a level of tolerance that they had that we generationally just are not willing to deal with.
We don't have to. Like you said, we don't have to.
Yeah.
Like my livelihood definitely isn't like dependent on that.
Yeah. Right. And I hope that that like continues to transpire forward. I feel like on both ends of the spectrum, I feel like men are becoming like more aware of themselves, getting like going to therapy and doing the work and things like that too, that are also going to be like fruitful going forward. And maybe that should be a conversation. I was having this conversation with one of my coworkers actually. Like, I wonder what generations behind us are going to be like after this like wave of like mental health, acceptance, going to therapy, what that's going to look like, how that's going to transpire. You know what I mean?
The
very
way
optimistic.
I agree because I have high school nieces, nephew, and the way they think is very like save the environment and very open-minded, like to just social issues. I'm like, at your age,
when I was in high school. Oh, I remember being like that, and now I'm like, well, you know, do what you can.
Well,
I mean, very optimistic.
I'm optimistic.
I'm optimistic, but then I'm like, y'all the same niggas that was in that cinnamon challenge and eating Tide Pods. So I'm like,
ooh, good point. Points were made.
Decisions.
Yeah, it's a toss up for me. I'm not quite sure.
Well,
all right. Well, one thing we gonna do
is
tangent.
Okay. Ooh, look at me being ready for once. Okay, what do you think is the best tool that adds to conversation in our generation that like did not exist?
A funny meme.
Okay, for me, it's GIFs. They just like can really elevate.
Yeah,
they really do.
Conversation.
Shy is really good about that.
They are.
That was Carol. I need to download the add-on app that you have.
What else?
I don't know. I think that just the internet in general, the fact that we can like reference things and go back to it and bring it back up, like we do use a lot of GIFs. We also use a lot of social references.
Immediately know.
Yes. Or like the fact that we can, or I know, I'm assuming this is like a generational thing and not a Black people thing, but like the fact that we can like say one thing and we instantly are brought back to like that moment that we all saw that reality show or
the moment it went viral at least.
Yeah,
even if you
like,
weren't there, like you still kind of get it.
Yeah, and like, or that we can make anything funny. Like the insurrection is not funny. The memes and stuff that came around it though are hilarious. Right. And like, I don't know, just stuff like even like the conceited. I probably use that GIF once a day. Like the like that face is just
also,
like
the art of like re-engineering an emoji to make it mean what you want. Kiss to that end, using the kissing emoji to mean that now.
Yes,
I love that.
It's like nothing else to me.
I don't use it in any chat but ours. But like anytime we're like, you know what we mean, and I love that.
But I do use it with other people, and they're like, "Huh?" I'm like,
See, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
I saw something the other day too.
Get it.
What someone was like, I'm gonna start saying the white community and. Like the things that like people only use for like women or Black or like phrases that are only used for like oppressed groups. I'm gonna start using them for white groups the same way that we use instead of that's ghetto, we say that's government.
Yeah.
Like flipping things on their head. I love that. I think that's so good.
Oh God.
Let's see. You said the internet, but I feel like it's also like on the internet access to larger communities too, because there are conversations we're having that I would never have.
For sure.
If there was not.
This whole podcast. That's how we come up with half our topics.
Exactly. But if it wasn't for not only for, the closeness of the community that we are having on a global scale, right? We're talking about global things that we were not talking about before, as much because they're in our face, right?
Yeah.
We hear about, I don't know, the fire in Australia. You'll hear about the, things, causes that we would not even have a cause for. Because we have the interconnected community now.
Right, yeah.
The community that's being made on the internet and social media, that's changed the game.
To that end, I think like learning that we like, do we all have the same childhood? Like when it's like certain things that we all dealt with as a community is hilarious.
So to your point, it's like when you hear the dial tone and like fax machine thing, that will forever connect only a very specific group of individuals. And if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But if you don't, that means you're too young to know.
I saw a meme on Washingtonian Problems the other day that was like, some guy on a date was like, if she doesn't know what the internet sounds like, she's too young for you, bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's real.
Yeah,
it is.
Accurate.
Completely.
If you never had an AOL CD.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Wow. You're too young.
First of all, if you didn't know how to work your computer by burning CDs.
Ooh.
Someone said that Netflix is gonna open up a whole bunch of people to learn what like LimeWire and like Tunnel Share and like all those things are. So that they can access them.
Or have y'all seen like the one that was like, how do you guys even back up without a camera? Y'all are weird. I'm like,
yes.
First of all,
girl, that is fairly new.
Okay.
That is like a common, like that's like a standard feature in cars now.
They'll never know.
One of my friend's daughter, who I take driving from time to time so she can learn how to drive. The first time I took her driving, I took a piece of paper and taped it to the dashboard thing.
You're smart.
Wow.
And she was like,
In
"What's
your
that?"
car?
Yeah.
Wow. Brave.
Right.
Because I was teaching her how to drive in an open parking lot. And so she's like, "What is that paper for?" And I was like, "Because you need to learn how to drive like I learned how to drive. Use your mirrors."
Yeah, I think I also the first time I took Taylor, my cousin, who was like almost like a niece, she like, I stood at all the corners of the car because I was like, a lot of times people don't know how long their cars are, like where like the actual front of your car is like really hard to gauge unless you like have like a cone or something to like really like gauge you. Like, this is the front of your car. You think it's longer, or think it's shorter.
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
this is where it is.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
It's a good point.
Wow.
Wow. What a time.
Ooh, what a time. What a time. Well, you know what else time it is?
What is it?
It's time for Colie's Corner.
Colie's Corner. I don't think that's it either. We'll find it.
We will. It's for those. This is new.
Different, but
for those
I liked
who
it more,
are-
I think.
yeah.
You did.
I think so.
Yeah. I think.
But how did you feel about it? It's your segment.
No, I like it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I like it.
All right. We're getting there.
For those who are new, it is a fairly new segment, meaning it's our second time.
Fairly new.
Season 3.
Fairly new
Kinda
segment where you can reach out to your resident auntie and local confidant, plus other semi aunties. They haven't
Plus
really reached
advice
you
that you
yet.
may not be asking for.
Right.
Right. To get this good advice. Okay. So today's question is
Good is subjective.
Yes, very subjective. We think it's good. Whether or not you do or not is up to you.
I mean, make your own decision, but remember you submitted your question here.
That's right.
Anyway, I've dated James, a single dad with 2 kids, for 9 years. I've raised them since they were 5 and 6. They're teens now. I told his daughter to do her chores. Her response was, "You should have had kids. We not your kids. And you not his wife. Why you here?" James said nothing. Advice. Oh, sis. Okay. Okay. Being in a similar situation. Well, not similar, meaning my man ain't got
Whoa.
kids. Let me be clear.
Why can you resonate with
Wait.
every question?
I don't know.
For two.
I don't know.
For
I
two.
don't
For
know.
two.
Without kids, Harry and I have been together for 11 years. And knowing that we've been together for an extended period of time, I would like to think that there at some point would have been a conversation between you and your man about the kids that he's brought to the table. With that being said, if in the past you've been, I mean, obviously I'm assuming, I'm going to make some assumptions here. Let me just say this. I'm going to make some assumptions in stating that you being with this man.
/ advice is what it's giving.
Well, to understand the backstory.
Okay.
You've been with this man for 9 years. You've been raising these children since they were like 5 and 6, which means there has to be some level of respect that they may or should have for you. And
Shmay.
Shmay. That's good. I like it that they shmay have for you, which means if you're giving them some, like, are they living in your household, sis? If they're living in your household, then yes.
Are you living in theirs?
Are you living in theirs? But even still, what got me was James said nothing.
Where's my toxic Black?
I mean, so as their father, either you're going to step in and support the person who you've chosen to be with for 9 years, or you're going to correct the child, right?
Both of them.
Are you going to correct them when their dad is like, huh?
Right.
She ain't say my name.
Now, what happens next is completely up to you. If James steps to you and says they have valid points, you need to start finding you somebody else. You need to go on.
James tried it.
Imagine raising a man's kids for 9 years for him to say points were made.
Right. Then that's when you hit him with
my
the
Plenty of Fish app.
I need to leave. That's what you hit.
Yes.
You need to leave.
Right. That's when you hit that. But James should have said something in that moment. That is my guidance. I mean, how do y'all feel about it?
Yeah, no, it's
The dad
crazy
needs
that
to step
James
up.
sat there quiet. That is wild.
Yeah.
So since you were in the right to feel away,
Yeah,
is what we
especially-
saying.
It's
Yes.
over less. Like, but 9 years. Like, if you had been raising them kids for 6, if you had sat there quiet, I'd still be like, wait a minute.
I mean,
9?
I understand.
I'm your mom.
Teenagers are different anyway. Teenagers are different anyway. So I understand that they're going to have a different they have a different talk back. They go through things. They're going through hormone changes. They think that they're bosses, and yet they pay no bills.
So what are you doing here?
But all of these. Hold on, wait. Let's revisit
You
it.
need to start looking in the mirror,
I'm
asking
not saying
yourself.
you should put your hands on her, but at the same time,
The child said, "You should have had kids. We not yours. You not his wife. Why are you here?"
that is a valid point, though. It's been 9 years, and we're.
But also, I'm taking care of you. So why would I want to add another to this mix?
But I'm also asking, like, is that something from your, like, have y'all had a conversation that's not privy to me? Because why do you feel so comfortable?
Right.
Instead of your whole
There's
chest.
a lot of things that's
You've been
wrong
together
with
9
this
years, and I'm taking care of your
situation.
children, and we're not married. That is a lot.
I'm still stuck at James said nothing.
That
Because James, I don't know where you are, but
In the room.
you need to stand firm.
right there.
And you need to get your kids together.
'Cause I'm looking
Because-
straight at you as soon as she says that.
Right.
That's
Regardless, right,
who you
wrong, or
talking to.
indifferent, one, who are they talking to? Because at the end of the day, it's still another adult.
Yeah. Bottom line, that's my
There's
thing.
still another adult,
True.
and there's a level of respect that's not happening here.
Yeah.
So tighten up.
Wow, y'all are real adults. This is why I shouldn't be in this
What?
scenario. Because
hands.
my immediate response is to be like, oh, bet. I ain't cooking you dinner no more. I ain't making sure homework is done. I'm not your
I
mama.
mean, I'm not
I ain't-
saying that my response isn't followed up by that.
Because
But
I'm not doing
Especially
any
if you
of
don't
that.
say nothing.
Especially,
Well,
yeah.
You
Like,
not
if I'm-
in, you not
I'm
in,
making dinner
you
for
not
one.
in,
Right. Like maybe I'm trying to figure out what's happening in my
Not
relationship,
even-
but I am no longer partaking in any caretaking of the children.
not even just like I really wish it was clear and understanding. Like,
Mhm.
do you live with them? Do they live with you?
She lives with them.
Are the kids there? Are the kids there
For
some of the
9
time
years?
or all the time? I mean, because it could be a situation. Maybe they're there on the weekend.
But maybe she's paying rent. Like maybe it's not like she's like just living there for free.
And
like
I
maybe she's
understand that.
like
But even still, first
Even
and
if I
foremost,
was. And-
9 years?
it's still
Right.
another adult.
Right.
And I don't care. Like, I don't even care if you're not my child, right? Y'all have seen. There's a certain level of respect that I am. You
Gonna
you
garner.
speak.
Mhm.
You're respectful. We don't play that.
Right.
I
If you
don't
ain't got nothing to
care.
say, nice to say, don't say nothing.
Just hush your mouth
Right.
before you get popped, because that's the direction we going down is a popping is what you fitting to get. And I know this was the little girl. I noticed the little girl said this because only a little girl got the gumption in her
You ain't
britches
my mama.
to say something crazy out the side of her neck like this for her to get snatched up.
she knew that was gonna cut deep too.
Oh, she knew it. She
That's
she
fine.
did. Especially with you should have had your own kids. We not yours. You right. You
Right.
not.
Now
Now
that
look to
she
see what
probably
happened.
can't have kids, so that's probably also
Oh.
something too. Ooh, baby.
Oh my God. Oh,
baby.
That just
Wasted
makes it
all
so
her
much
good years
worse.
on James
Okay.
just for him to be there quiet.
In her prime too.
Mm.
On a nigga.
Hate to see it.
girl,
Run, leave,
Right.
run for
leave
your
them
life.
kids that ain't yours and that
It's
man
all
that
I'm
ain't
gonna
either.
say. Clearly,
He for the streets.
Go find you.
He only wants you in the sheets, and he only for the streets. Okay,
That should be our
so
tagline.
girl, go get you another. Okay, because you could probably look. I know
That
it's
should be on
not.
a shirt.
It should. I can make that happen. However, I'm gonna tell you this: there are some men out here that I know. Lots of people have children, men and women. But I'm sure you can find you somebody else that maybe don't have kids if that's not what you desire. If you need a ready-made family, then that's your business. Find one. And I bet you they have a little bit more respect than this little
Person.
thing right here
This
that
person.
decided out the side of their neck. But I guarantee you this.
Ghetto out here.
One thing for sure, two things for certain. You surely gonna need me before I need your look. I know that. That's Colie's Corner's advice for
Play if you
today.
want to.
All right.
You can play me.
And if
We ain't
people
doing
wanna
that.
submit-
Advice close.
Look, one thing I don't play with is children being disrespectful.
Okay,
Clearly.
period.
I don't do that. You can look, we can talk about a lot of things. I'm always open minded to children and their perspective, but we are not going to be disrespectful. Not no day of the week, not no hour of the day. We ain't doing that.
And if people want to submit their questions,
And if somebody wants to submit their questions so they can get their unsolicited advice from their,
Solicited.
it's solicited. They ask.
well, you're
Or
right.
maybe we're unsolicited, but Colie is solicited.
This is fair.
Facts.
that
All right.
part.
You don't have to listen to this.
We're just
If
here
you
to add
have any
color.
questions, comments, or stories that you would like to get Colie's Corners advice from, you can email at wkutogether@gmail.com or DM us at What Keeps Us. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right, y'all. It's time for a meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
Okay, this one comes from the Melanin Shades room. And it says, accidentally vaped in front of my mom, but she only saw the smoke and goes, "What was that?" So I immediately said, "No way, you saw that too?" And now I have to spend the rest of my life pretending my house is haunted. About 2 hours in, I'm knocking on her door and running away, acting like it wasn't me.
First of all, I am not putting that much energy. First of all, did the meme just say spending the rest of my life in my house is haunted?
Yep.
Yes.
So you in your own house trying to conceal that you vaping?
Well, his mama's house.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
So like
You
his
gotta wake up at
childhood
3 a.m. and start
Okay.
stomping around upstairs.
I thought you was talking about a grown person. I was like, wait a minute. Why are we doing this?
I mean, the level of commitment.
He might be grown living in his mama's house. Who knows? Yeah, all I know is,
Well,
there's some things you just have to conceal. There's just,
that's your business.
yeah, like there's only so much honesty we can give, when you're living in your mama's house.
Fair.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
AffriShade time.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up.
All right. Who wants to go? I'll start.
Okay, so I was like, what did we talk about?
Lord. All
A
right.
lot of things, but the
We
topic
did.
was
The topic was
30th new 20. Shout out to Jay-Z.
All right. So my AffriShade for our listeners today is that it's not about your age. It's about how you feel on the inside.
Mm.
It's about like I said earlier today, not the bar to reach, but the bar to set. You control that at whatever age that may be. If you strive to be a CEO of your own company, you can do that at whatever age you desire. I know that there's plenty of younger people. I mean, how many times have you seen spotlighted a 7-year-old, the owner of their own company, because they've come up with a brilliant idea? You have the capability to control your own path at whatever age you desire. So just remember, it's not about what's on your birth certificate. It's what's in here. And
Good job, Nicole.
after all that, pew, pew, pew.
Such
There you
an
go.
auntie.
I'll try.
Okay, I can go next.
Okay.
Okay, so my AffriShade is you're doing great, sweetie. I really want you to feel that. I just feel like all the rules and things that we set up in our minds for like the places that we have to be and the things that we have to achieve, like all of those are not real and that we can recalibrate at any time. I think more in these last like 3 years of life than any other time in my life, I've realized like life is long. Like there is so much time to do and achieve and to revector, to change your mind, to learn and unlearn, choose a different path. There's always time to reset. There's always time to choose something else if what you're doing right now is not serving you, if it's not feeding you in the ways that you thought it would, if it's not fulfilling you in the ways that you hoped. You can always do something else. And you always have the opportunity to do that in your own life. Like you are playing by your own rules. All the other rules are fake. So that's what I want you to take away from this is that like, if you feel behind, just like change your mindset around what you're doing. Like, is it serving you? Is it feeding you? Is it doing the things that you hoped it would do for you to serve your soul? Not like, where are you in comparison to other people or in comparison to like all the other metrics that you could serve yourself or measure yourself by? Just like, is it doing for you what you hoped it would? And if it's not, then you can always change that.
She said not fake news, but fake rules. Okay.
Hey.
I'm going to piggyback off what Tiff said. Just basically just like, there's no right path. There's no right or wrong. There's no, you should be doing this instead of this, or just because your friends are down one path and you decide to go down, they went left and you're going right doesn't mean you're wrong. As we grow, we evolve and we change. And like you said, we create our own paths. We create what's next for us. And you're not, like you said, we're not behind. And I think we have social media will have you believe that you are behind in life, that you should be doing this and that you're not where you're supposed to be. And that's just not true. What they say, what's for you can never be taken away. So, and you just never know when it's going to come for you either. So just stand firm in the fact that like you're doing great. Your life is on the right path. You're on the right trajectory. And when things will happen when they're supposed to happen and how they're supposed to happen.
Come on.
The word.
Bars.
Okay.
Bars.
All right. I think for me, the focus of this was, we're at a place now where individuals are feeling like we should be, we should be either further along. But I think also what comes into that I think about immediately when we asked that topic was, how much more willing we are to play than maybe our parents, were. And so I want to affirm for everybody else that play is such an important part of your life.
Yeah.
Like, even if you are feeling like, I'm going to feel a little silly being, 30 plus out here being goofy and silly, but no, it's a part of life. And we have been raised with options, but we also been raised with more play. And I want to affirm for our listeners to just have fun doing that. It may not be something that is going to, I don't know, change the trajectory of your life, but you never know. There are people who are making careers out of the things that they play with.
Facts.
So I want to affirm for people to enjoy the play, be in that space, because I promise you that's where that growth comes. That's where that satisfaction with life lives, is that our ability to play. So I want to affirm for us to go out there and enjoy yourself.
I like that. Can I add to that just a little bit? Because there was a sound that was going viral on Instagram last year that was like, this is just a reminder that you can decide to do things and you don't have to be good at them. You can just do them because you like to do them. And I was like, I forgot that was an option. So in case you forgot that was an option, you can do things just for the sake of doing it. Not because you're good at it.
I like it.
Not just because it can make you money, but just because you want and like to do it.
Yeah.
Do what brings you joy.
Yeah, life is worth living. And I think sometimes we forget that, like, we're not on this earth to just work. You know what I mean? Like, we're on this earth to live.
Right.
So, like, live however you want to live.
Yeah. Unless it causes harm to others.
Facts.
That part.
Or you're a racist or a misogynist or just...
Nothing is.
But the other ones are fine.
Yes. The it's list.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right.
See you next time.
2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.